Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
We are at number 39 of the 49ers roster countdown. We have cracked inside the top 40, 90 all the way to 1, on players who are going to have the biggest impact of the 2022 season. And we've got a free agent acquisition, a unique one, in the fact that he's primarily going to be a special teamer, but provides some positional depth. That's safety special team stud, George Odum. He's going to be wearing jersey number 30, entering into his 5th season. He's 28 years old, 6'1", 202. Now, this guy, it's interesting because when he first got signed and you looked at the money, the initial idea was, okay, this dude's competing for a starting safety spot. Then he comes in for the press conference and says, no, they brought me in for special teams and to provide safety depth. And whenever, mini camp and OTAs happened, it confirmed exactly what he said. He was taking all the second team reps behind Hufanga at the strong safety position. But before we jump into what his role for the 49ers is going to be in 2022, let's go through his journey. One of my favorite parts of this whole series is just getting to know the different ways in which all these amazing human beings overcame so much adversity to get to where they are. He grew up in Tennessee, Millington, Tennessee, went to Central High School. It's just north of Memphis, right next to Arkansas. And he didn't travel very far, ended up going to Central Arkansas for college to play ball there. Now, in high school, he was a star track athlete, sprints, triple jump, long jump. He's explosive, lower body, and that shows on film to this day. Like he gets where he goes. It doesn't take a lot of time. He's a 2-time all-region selection at Central High School in Millington, Tennessee, as a defensive back and punt returner. I doubt that he'll be returning punts for the 49ers, but he will be on every special teams thing guaranteed. 2-time sectional qualifier in track, team captain, honor roll, right? Every single guy they bring in seems like. And, when he was in high school, there was a big hit over the middle that he was involved in. And the guy he hit triggered an asthma attack. And sadly, tragically, his teammate died that day. And so what happened was, obviously, it was heartbreaking. He walked away from football in high school until his fellow teammate who passed away, his mom, told him, go play the sport you're supposed to play, kind of gave forgiveness / permission, and so then he returned, but he walked away. I mean, that football's scary sometimes. Asthma is very, very scary sometimes, and so overcame that adversity. Which, golly, you talk about players putting things into perspective. And why do you play? Do you play for money? Do you play for the love of the game? Do you play for your family? Do you play for those things? George Odum, dude, plays for a lot of people. And for somebody that has gone through what he has gone through, understanding the importance of, the game for him and everybody else who that has impacted, man, that's got to carry a lot. And so you get that extra drive. And I mean, it's horrific. It's awful. But those types of things change players. They change people. They change humans. And so the idea that he is playing for a lot more than just himself, that's something that I take away from that, which, I mean, it's awful. I'm not saying that it was a positive experience at any stretch. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. But it's what happened. And how you become after that, I think that's what's important. Now, whenever he was in college, he played safety and linebacker, kind of went back and forth. He was the 2016 Southland Conference first team, 2017 preseason all-conference, 2017 FCS All-American. He was the SLC Defensive Player of the Year his senior year. 120 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And then he gets, he's undrafted. He has a great pro day, didn't even get invited to the combine. And in his pro day, he ran a 4.45, had a 7.3 cone flat, and a 33.5-inch vertical, which that 4.440, that was huge. That kind of vaulted him up. He became a priority, undrafted free agent with the Colts. Watching his film, which he's got 10 career starts at safety in 4 years. He's only been with the Colts, basically played out his entire rookie contract and played. Listen to this. This is probably one of my favorite things about him. Rookie year, 16 games played, Second year, 16 games played. Third year, 16 games played. Last year, 2021, 17 games played. Never missed a game. Never missed a game. So you're talking about somebody that's dependable. He played over 800 snaps last year. So special teams, for sure, that's his primary focus. But he's got 10 career starts at safety in 4 years. So it's not like he's somebody that's just like a mess. Like, he can step in and provide very quality snaps. Now, he was an all-pro special teamer in 2020. He had a 91.0 PFF grade on special teams, the second highest for any player in the NFL that wasn't a kicker. And so he did that in back-to-back years, having the second highest grade besides kickers. 10 career starts at safety, as I said. And if you look kind of at his stats, he's played in 65 games, 10 starts, 149 tackles, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. That's a lot of difference makers for a special teamer / spot starter. Now, whenever he signed with the 49ers, he signed a 3-year, $9.5 million deal. They're paid a premium now. Broke down his contract. George Odum got $2 million signing bonus, but they did it in a special way because it's a 5-year signing bonus, which means there's 2 dead years on this to spread out the cap hit of that signing bonus to where it's 5 years, but there's 0% chance he plays those 5 years. $3.7 million guaranteed. Now, the 49ers created an out in this contract after year 2 of the deal. So if the 49ers exercise that, basically it would be a 2-year, $4.4 million deal with $1.2 million dead spread out. So there's some flexibility here. This isn't a cap buster by any stretch, but they are paying a premium for this player. You could tell that the 49ers were not the only ones going after George Odum. Definitely not the case. So, he's a player that the 49ers are making a very conscious effort in changing the special teams. You brought in a new coordinator. You bring in Oren Burks. You bring in George Odum. These things matter. You bring in Ray McLeod. They are trying to change the special teams culture for the 49ers, and it's needed. It's needed. It is definitely needed. Now, in camp, as I said, he took all the second team reps at strong safety behind Hufanga. This is Hufanga's job to lose as a starting safety, but if for some reason Hufanga doesn't pan out or gets injured, my guess is Odum would be the first one off the bench, not Tarvarius Moore. In fact, I'm not even sure Tarvarius Moore is going to be making the cut, but we'll see. I think if you're just looking at a strong safety player, it's going to be Odum. However, I could see, this isn't a Tarvarius Moore breakdown, the dime packages, I could see more coming in as the dime nickelback, right? So it's weird. It's influx and the 2 different ways that those players could see the field on the depth chart order. And a lot of that is just because Tarvarius Moore has such good speed. So here's the deal. George Odum is making the squad no matter what. You don't get that type of deal with that type of guaranteed and then you walk away from him. Just doesn't happen. So he is a lock to make this roster. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be a special team stud. And as I said, he'll step up if something goes wrong. And, Jimmy Ward is in the last year of his contract as well. I do not believe that Odum is a long-term replacement for Jimmy Ward. I don't see that at all. His side-to-side agility and, lateral movement is probably my biggest issue with his game. He's a downhill thumper, very aggressive. He's fun, man. He just pops off the tape because he wastes no time. Issue is, those flipping the hips and all that kind of stuff that you need with a safety position. Just don't see it very often, consistent enough. And so he could start and it won't be a huge liability, but there's a reason why he's a special teamer who helps with safety and not a safety who helps with special teams. It's different. And not that it's a bad thing, but anyway, that's Odum. I'm happy to have him. Glad that he's part of this team. Again, just building from the bottom up, increasing the competition level, the depth at all of these positions, and things that you have not been able to say about the John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan 49ers is, man, guess what? Special teams is being emphasized through contracts, through drafting, through positions. I love it, man. So he's going to be a fun player to watch and might not show up on offense or defense, right? But doesn't matter. Will help both the offense and defense through his contribution on special teams. Want to say thank you to Anthony and Josh. You guys are incredible. The researchers and producers of this entire series. And that's number 39, safety George Odum. We're going to keep counting them down.